Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are diving into the 51st G7 summit held in the stunning Kananaskis, Alberta, Canada from June 15 to 17, 2025. This was a big moment for global leaders, but it wasn't without any drama. The trade wars, Middle East tensions, and a certain US president stealing the spotlight. So, what exactly went down? Stick around as we break down every major topic discussed at the high stakes summit. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our deep dives into the global events. The Israel Iran conflict. First up, the escalating Israel Iran conflict took center stage. Just as the summit kicked off, Israel's strikes on Iran and Tehran's retaliation shook the global stage. This wasn't on the original agenda, but it quickly overshadowed everything else. President Donald Trump, who made a dramatic early exit from the summit to deal with this crisis, signed a G7 statement before leaving, calling Iran the principal source of regional instability and terror, and urging de escalation, including a Gaza ceasefire. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz emphasized preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons and supporting Israel's right to self defense, while also pushing for diplomacy. But here's the kicker. Some leaders, like the UK's Keir Starmer, were reportedly caught off guard by the escalation. The G7 issued a joint statement calling for de escalation, but with Trump's abrupt departure, the group struggled to present a united front. So, what does this mean? The Middle East hostility exposed the G7's challenge in coordinating a cohesive response when one of the biggest players, Trump, plays by his own rules. What do you think about the G7's handling of this crisis? Drop your comments in the comment below. Global trade in Trump's tariff war. Next, let's talk about trade, or rather, Trump's trade war. The US president's on-again, off-again tariffs on allies like Canada, EU, and Japan created a tense backdrop. On-again, Canada faced 25% tariff on autos, 50% on steel and aluminium, while the EU and Japan scrambled to negotiate deals before Trump's 90 days tariff pause expired on July 9. The UK scored a small win, reducing tariff on the US goods from 5.1% to 1.8% in May, but others weren't so lucky. Canada's Mark Carney smartly avoided a joint communique to prevent a repeat of 2018 when Trump famously withdrew US support from the G7 statement. Instead, trade talks happened in bilateral meetings with leaders like Japan's Shigeru Ishiba pushing to protect their auto industries. The global economy was already slowing, partly due to tariff uncertainty, and the G7 leaders kicked off Monday's discussions trying to stabilize things. But with Trump's unpredictable approach, the question wasn't just about the trade. It was whether the US is still committed to forums like the G7. Tell me, do you think tariffs help or hurt global economies? Let's debate in the comments. Ukraine and Russia. The Russia-Ukraine war, now in its fourth year, was another major focus. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky attended as a guest, pushing for more sanctions on Russia and financing for Ukraine's reconstruction. Tuesday morning was dedicated to this conflict, but hopes for a strong G7 statement faded away after Trump's early exit. Zelensky's presence was a show of solidarity invited by Carney to underscore the G7's commitment to Ukraine. However, with Trump prioritizing bilateral meetings and his administration's unclear stance on sanctions, this discussion didn't yield the robust support Kyiv hoped for. A European official noted that the G7 and the upcoming NATO summit were chances to push for stronger sanctions, but Trump's reluctance left things uncertain. This raises a big question. Can the G7 effectively support Ukraine without US backing? Let's hear your take in the comments. Critical minerals and energy security. Now let's shift to something less explosive but supercritical: energy security and critical mineral supply chains. Canada's Mark Carney put this front and center, aiming to secure supply chains for minerals like lithium and rare earths, which are vital for tech and renewable energy. The G7 leaders signed statement on this as it's one area where consensus was easier to reach. Why does this matter? These minerals power everything from electric vehicle to AI systems. With China dominating global supply chains, the G7 wants to reduce dependency and boost domestic production. Canada and the US also pledged to finalize a trade deal within a month, likely tied to these resources. This topic ties into the next one. Let's talk tech. Artificial intelligence and digital transition. Artificial intelligence and quantum technology were big on the agenda, reflecting the G7's push to stay ahead in the digital race. Canada's presidency emphasized using AI and quantum tech to drive economic growth, and the leaders issue a statement on responsible AI development. Guest leaders like India's Narendra Modi brought a global perspective, highlighting AI's role in energy security and innovation. This wasn't just about tech, it was about staying competitive in a world where a non G7 power like China are investing heavily in these fields. But here's the catch, with all the focus on AI, some critics argue the G7 didn't address risks like disinformation or job displacement enough. What's your take on AI's role in the future? Let us know in the comments. Wildfires and the climate challenges. Last but not least, wildfires. Canada is facing one of its worst wildfire seasons since 2023, with 225 blazes burning during the summit. Mark Carney made this a key topic, pushing for better joint responses to wildfires and climate challenges. Smoke blanketing North America and Europe was a stark reminder of the stakes. The G7 discussed climate finance and adaptation, but critics noted a decline in foreign aid for sustainable development, with the US leading the retreat. This topic resonated with guest nations like Brazil and South Africa, who face similar environmental pressures. The question is, can the G7 move beyond talk to real actions on climate? Let's discuss. What do you think? Did the G7 make progress? Or was it just another talk fest? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell for more global insights.